Hi everybody, Old Gare here out at Table Rock Lake today, and my goodness, a big change happening out at the rock due to the fact of recent storms, a lot of rain. Oh, the lakes are coming up and the Ozarks are really coming up, and I tell you what, hopefully it's not going to be too bad this weekend. Now, I do know that this Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, if the weatherman keeps true, is going to be real nice. So go pick you out a good spot and go fishing. You know, out here at Table Rock, the main lake is really good. Earlier today, I was out at the dam. It all looks very clear there. I'm up in the Kimberlin City area right now. Very nice water. But I do know that some of the rivers and some of the creek arms are dirty and with a lot of debris. So just kind of watch out. But the main lake is really quite beautiful out here. And the water temperature just a little bit ago was 65 degrees, so just perfect weather. You know, the crappie fishing at Table Rock's been good. We're going to be talking a little bit about this. Few walleye are being caught. The bass fishing's been good, and we have a pretty good report from out at Truman Lake, the Ozarks, Stockton. Hey, let's go fishing.
Fish and Chums!
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Boy, each week we've been having thousands of people join us on our groups, Facebook, of course, YouTube, and we want to thank you all very much. And if you haven't subscribed, right there it is. Brandon's putting it up on the screen. Be sure to subscribe. We really appreciate it. Okay. Whoa, that scared me. Hey, we're out at Table Rock, and speaking of Table Rock, it's a gorgeous day out here. We taped the show on Thursday, and we want to go to the photo of the week because there's been some really big crappie being caught at the rock. Might change a little bit because they've been picking up these fish back in the big coves, the big creek arms, and that could change a little bit, but hey, what the heck. Let's go to the photo of the week. Cindy Frizzell was out the other day and picked up this beautiful, beautiful crappie. Look how black it is. Oh man, and not too far off the bank. And thanks Cindy, that's a great photo of the week on Table Rock. And that's the thing, there's been fish, crappie, before this big influx, the rain, a lot of the fish have been moved pretty well close to the bank. More males on the banks than females, but they're still picking up a good 13, 14, and once in a while I've heard of a couple 15-inch crappie being caught out here. So some of the big gals are moving towards that bank. Could change, but that's what happened just a few days ago. And speaking of Table Rock, there's been some real good bass fishing. Guy Dan Boyers was out the other day. Look at this nice bass. Dan, great fish. He caught this up in the Cape Fear area. So the bass fishing has really been nice out here. You can see fish on the beds. You can see some of the fish have finished up their spawning. They're catching them on a variety of baits. Swim baits have been working. I tell you what, grubs have been working. A pearl grub, like a quarter or an 1/8 ounce head. That's been working pretty good. And in the morning and evening hours, guys, top water fishing's working out here at Table Rock. And they've been picking up some fish on lizards around some of the brush piles. So it may change, with all this weather, but hopefully you should be able to get out this weekend and catch some crappie and bass out here at Table Rock. And they have been picking up a few walleye. They're starting to move out of the rivers now and getting to the main lake points and secondary points. They've been picking up some fish on swim baits, also jerk baits, and jigs or grubs. So check this out for the upcoming weekend. Okay, speaking of Table Rock, just a few minutes ago I was down at the dam. I want you to take a look at this. Brandon, if you'll roll this, they have actually 5 gates open at the dam at Table Rock. And so that's making for a big current down through Lake Taneycomo. And so they're dropping the lake here at Table Rock. 5 units open as of Thursday, the last couple of days. And they've been picking up a pretty good current on Taneycomo, and so it's been a little tough fishing. But I have had word that some of the rainbows, they like to get up in the creek arms when we have a lot of water. And they have been picking up some rainbow trout up the creek arms. You may want to check this out. On the main lake, I've had reports, small jigs like we've been talking about the last couple of weeks on the program, little 36 32 ounce, olive green or brown, or brown with chartreuse is what I like, and also black and chartreuse. So that has been good. Not many people fishing. I was out at Taneycomo just a little bit ago, but did see a boat catch a couple trout. Okay. All right, Bull Shoals. God bless you guys out at Bull Shoals. My Lord. Out at Bull Shoals, my heart goes out to the folks out at K-Dock. Gosh darn, there's such great dock owners out there at K-Dock, the marina owners, and it just seems like about every year they get hit with this darn floods. And take a look at this. This shot here just yesterday come out of K-Dock, and look at all the debris around the marina. Isn't that a heartbreaker? Gosh darn, guys. I hope this clears up real fast for you out there, because we want you to have a good year. Not a good way to start. And it's too bad, because the fishing out around K-Dock and Bull Shoals have been real good. In fact, Bart Alexander was out the day before the front, before the rain, and look at Bart. Look at this nice crappie that he caught. And he caught several, and I had some really nice reports of crappie being caught ahead of the storm, ahead of the front. There's some nice fish on the bank or right near the bank in the brush. So I don't know what it's going to be like this weekend, but it could be tough. In fact, I went on up and took this video of the Power Site Dam at Bull Shoals, where the water comes out of Lake Taneycomo into Bull Shoals, and took some photos. A lot of water coming over that Power Site Dam, and the water at the upper end of course, Bull Shoals is pretty dirty and a lot of debris in the water. Sorry about that. But out in the main lake at Bull Shoals, they've been catching fish where the dirty water meets the clearer water. They've been picking up bass on the points, secondary points, and back in on some of the brush piles. I tell you what, the lizard has been good. Get that lizard around the brush piles. You have any wind, slow roll of spinner baits, jerk baits have been good, and grubs have been good. And if it's tough, I tell you what, just go to jigs. Jigs should pay off, and so Bull Shoals could be good this weekend. And I've heard of some nice walleye still being caught on occasion down at the lower end in mid-lake by bass fishermen using jerk baits on the points and secondary points. And they have been using some not downriggers, but they've been using some harnesses, night crawler harnesses, and fishing and drifting off some of the points and secondary points at Bull Shoals. Night crawlers are picking up a few walleye as well. Okay, let's go out to Stockton Lake. Yeah, that lake's up about 7 feet, if I understand my facts right. Water temperature out there this morning is around 64 degrees. And before the front, they were catching some nice crappie out there. In fact, let's see here. We'll go out to Stockton. Bob Bennett picked up a real nice walleye the other day. That's a dandy. And he was using night crawlers near the dams and the dam at Stockton and the second points and secondary points. I'm rushing myself here too much. And also Todd and Buddy was out the other day and caught some real nice crappie at Stockton. So I don't know what the lake coming up that fast is going to do, but I hope it does good for you this weekend out there, because those fish were really starting to move. And I've even heard of a few walleye being caught off some of the flats out there in about 12 to 14 feet of water on night crawlers. Okay, let's go out to Truman. We've had some, they've had rain out there too. The lake's up, but they have been catching some crappie. I've had different reports. Some people have caught them the males real close to the bank. The females, of course, out off the bank in the brush. Then I've heard a guy from Kansas City I was talking to the other day picked up a half a dozen real nice females, 12, 13 inches, right on the bank. So fluctuate, kind of mix your method up a little bit on the bank and then back off the bank if you're not getting anything on the bank, especially if you can find some brush right off the bank. You'll catch some crappie out at Truman. And below the dam, they've been catching a lot of fish at times. They've been releasing a lot of water at Truman, and it's been spotty, but they have been catching crappie and, of course, occasional big old walleye and white bass and hybrids. That's down below the dam. Okay, Lake of the Ozarks, man, they've had some pretty good fishing out there this week. They've been picking up some nice bass on square-billed crankbaits, also a little windy bank, slow rolling of spinner baits, jerk baits. They've been picking up some fish out there on the long points on a Ned rig. By the way, out at Bull Shoals and Table Rock. Don't overlook that Ned rig for the upcoming weekend if it gets tough. But I do want to say howdy to Chris Barber. He's an excellent guide out at Lake of the Ozarks. He was out the other day. Look at these nice crappie. And the crappie, I understand, have been caught several different ways. Not so much out in front of the docks now like they were. They're more in back of the docks right now. And they've been picking up minnows. Seems to be a little bit better than jigs, but some people have been jigging. And some people have been using a float and jig out the Lake of the Ozarks. And some of the big pockets, the big coves, they've been going back in there and working over the crappie as well. So the big coves, the creek arms, I've had good reports of gravel's arm up there, crappie and bass. So check out Lake of the Ozarks, some nice fish being caught there. Well, that's our quick show for today. Once again, out here at Table Rock. I understand next week, Tuesday, another big sale's coming in. Let's hope not. Let's get this water settled down a little bit. But the main lake out here at Table Rock is really nice, and but you may have some trouble in some of the creeks and the river arms, a lot of debris right now. Well, we want to thank you. Be sure to like and share. And as we already mentioned, subscribe. And then if you have any photos, be sure to send us our photos and fishing information. We always love to hear from you. Send it to our email. Email us at fishandchums@gmail.com. Hey, Brandon, I forgot to mention it, doggone me. We had a lot more photos coming your way. Ooh, boy, there's been a lot of fish caught this last week. Roll 'em, Brandon. We'll see you next week here on Fish and Chums Fishing Report.